Welcome, dear children, to my second video of the second unit, Wit and Humor, and segment A, that is the Dear Departed Part 1. So, children, in the previous video, we came to know the details of the playwright William Stanley Houghton. And we even discussed once again the difference between theatre and cinema and how was the British middle class family in the 18th century itself. And I even introduced you the characters of this one act play. So we even came to know what an one act play is. So, what a one act play is, we understood. All settled on the stage and all will come according to their dialogues. They finish it and they'll just go away. So, no question of unveiling. No question of veiling or unveiling. Once the unveiling is done, unveil, V-E-I-L, children, V-E-I-L. Veil means curtain here. So once the curtain is up, unveiled, that is called, the whole play takes place. That's it. So that is called one act play. So once again, I introduce the characters. Mrs. Amelia Slater and Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan, both are sisters. Henry Slater, Ben Jordan are their husbands. Victoria Slater, a girl of 10, who is Amelia's daughter, and Abel Merriweather. Abel Merriweather, father of these two daughters, Amelia and Elizabeth, and Jimmy, the little boy, the son of Elizabeth Jordan. So, children, these are the characters. So, already I told you, this particular play or drama, which is made into one act play, it a kind of satire in the society. Particularly what satire means, a sort of funny criticism towards the misdeeds of people or misconceptions in the society. Particularly how the elderly people are mistreated. That is all about this story or the play. So how it starts now, generally if it is in the classroom, what I do, one character is given to you and you should feel as if you were the character and you start reading really you are the character. I think last year we did, and even in 8th standard, if I remember, Selfish Jane, we did beautifully. So once we are back now, definitely we'll do that in the classroom too. That becomes a nice show, isn't it? So here, when the curtain rises, Mrs. Slater is seen laying the table. She is a vigorous, plump, red-faced, vulgar woman prepared to do any amount of straight talking to get her own way. She is in black. She goes to the window, opens it, and calls into the street. This is actually the words of the narrator. So when it is given in the brackets, children, those are the words of the narrator. So naturally, in olden days, when a play is running or when the play is about to start, the narrator's voice used to come first. Narrator is not seen on the stage for information. There's a background voice. In between also, when the characters are speaking, some pause will come. In that pause, some dialogues will come. So those are the words of the narrator who takes the play further. So these are the words of the narrator in the beginning. Of course, I'm not reading the dialogues of everybody because you can't enjoy. I'm just giving you the gist of the part 1. You just listen happily. And you have the text, you can practice. Why? Because, once part 2 is also completed, children, we are going to have a very fantastic assignment. I'll tell you, wait, why to worry now? Let me complete. Definitely you'll enjoy. Already 9th class students, they enjoyed. In one poem, Duck and the Kangaroo, completed for them last month, which I'm going to do with you. Don't worry. You just wait. Sir, please tell now only, sir. No. You wait. Okay, still we are in the part 1, no? Let us complete part 2 also. You'll enjoy definitely this play. Right. How the story begins, children? It begins with Mrs. Slater telling her daughter Victoria to change her dress before the arrival of her sister Elizabeth, and Elizabeth's husband Ben, Mrs. Slater's husband. Then what happened? Why actually she is asking to change the dress of her that small little daughter? Yes, you will come to know. Henry Slater sent a telegram with the message of the death of his father-in-law. Henry Slater. Who is Henry Slater? Already I told you. Husband of Amelia Slater. Means elder daughter is Amelia, younger daughter is Elizabeth. No confusion, children. Henry Slater is husband of elder daughter, Amelia Slater. So he went out and gave a telegram that his father-in-law is no more. Who is father-in-law? Already introduced to Abel Merriweather. Right. So the play started in a tragedy. Children, please don't read a textbook. Part 2 also you will enjoy, really. Because climax is very interesting. If you read beforehand, you can't enjoy. Every time I tell you, no, you just go with my videos, that's all. Don't do that. Which is completed, you read. But which I am going to complete, don't read. You can't enjoy. Right? This is my sweet request come warning. Right. Now coming to the point. He went out and gave the telegram. No, those days, no phone calls. No phones only. What phone calls? And when her daughter Victoria asked about the cause of their arrival, what she informed, no? Hey, she would come to discuss her father's affairs. Mrs. Slater asked her husband to wear her father's new slippers. Small confusion, no? Not only you. Even that small little girl also got confused. Why mother is behaving like that? When I asked her why, means she is not telling, she is telling some rubbish. Father's affair, something. What father? Means my grandfather. Huh? Did he have some problem? Like that she was thinking. And one way, Victoria's mother is telling her husband, means who? Henry Slater. Hey, go and wear that slippers. The slippers of my father. Go, go, go. Like that she said. All these things, this small little girl, Victoria, she didn't understand. And Henry wonders if they would come all to share of what their father has left. Mrs. Slater suggests to replace their old chest drawers with the valuable bureau of her father which is in his bedroom. Her husband agreed to do after some hesitation. So our dialogues are going very fast, sir. We can't understand. Very simple, amma. Elder daughter's idea is to pinch all the assets of her father slowly towards her side. Pinch means, not pinching. What do you pinch others? Pinch means one way grab or steal, better we can say. And she is encouraging her husband. There is a big bureau, beautiful bureau is there. I'll show you the picture, don't worry, bureau. Isn't it? It's like a table. Teapai we say, no, like that. So, take it aside. Slippers, my father's beautiful slippers, come on, take it. So like that, because father is no more, no. Before her younger sisters comes, they wanted to put all these things aside so that she wouldn't see. That is the idea. I think now you understood what a beautiful daughter she is. And she suggested to replace their old chest drawers with the valuable bureau of her father, which is in his bedroom. So they already got one chest of drawers which became old. They want to put this here and they want to pinch this beautiful bureau to their room. That is how shifting is happening and not inside the house only. Mrs. Slater wanted to do before her sister's arrival. Why? Sister comes again, fighting starts between the sisters. Who knows? Isn't it? And Victoria asked her parents if they are pinching grandfather's bureau. Just now I told you. Mother, are you stealing? Sure, Victoria. Stupid girl. Yeah. Like that. So Slater carried one handsome clock from her father's room. They brought the pretty old-fashioned bureau downstairs. See, at the same time, Victoria ushers in Ben and Mrs. Jordan. Slowly, this shifting is going on. Victoria shouted, Mama, uncle and aunt has arrived. They both have arrived, you see. Welcome, uncle, welcome on. Yes, already they are there. They greeted one another. And Mrs. Jordan remarks that their father has gone at last. She told them that the old man had been merry that morning and had gone out to pay his insurance. See, what a nice story. Morning father went out. But don't know what happened. He was very happy, very merry. He went to pay his insurance. The moment he returned, no more. According to Mrs. Slater, their father is found dead when she takes up a bit of something for him on tray. This is another story she created. Sister, when I went up in the tree to offer something to dad, he was no more. Ben and her husband did not want to look at the old man. They preferred to have tea, and so Mrs. Slater gets tea ready because Abel Merriweather's room is on the upstairs. When they have come, what they have to do? First, they should go and see the dead body. They didn't do. They wanted to have tea. They think of publishing the announcement of the death of the old man in the papers. Then they decide to look through the old man's things and make a list of them. Mrs. Jordan tells her sister that father has promised his gold watch to their Jimmy. Started Amma. So they are not at all looking at the old man. How is he? They didn't see the dead body. They started listing out what are the items old man has and how they should be distributed between the elder daughter and younger daughter. And already the younger daughter, Elizabeth, she started telling her, hey, sister, elder sister, Didi, please listen. That gold watch, what our father has already promised to my son, little son, that Jimmy only. Okay, you should not. Then Victoria tells them that grandpapa did not pay the insurance. Suddenly, the small girl, she didn't know, no? Already they said he went to pay insurance. Who? Mr. Slater. But Victoria came and said, uncle and aunt, I am sorry to say, grandfather couldn't pay the insurance. Then immediately they got very angry. All of you know, if insurance premium is paid only, no, if anybody dies, that total amount will come. For that also they felt very unhappy. Very unhappy they felt. Then Mrs. Slater asked Victoria to bring the bunch of keys from grandfather's room. Now Victoria goes into the room of grandfather. Poor little girl, she didn't know, no. Some bunch of keys means with the grandfather's, somewhere in the room of the grandfather it is there. She went up. When she went up, she saw slowly grandfather is moving. That's it. Small little girl, what she thinks? She came running scared. Mama, oh my God. What happened? What happened? Why you are becoming like that? Grandpa was getting up. See, they were all transfixed with amazement. Shocked. Such an amazement. That's it. The vigorous and well-colored old man, Abel Merriweather, came in. Unfortunately for them, but fortunately to Abel Merriweather. Try to understand, children. It is not at all unfortunate. For him, good only. But what they thought, he is no more. Isn't it? But they saw Abel Merriweather slowly coming down. What, in which way? He was dressed in a faded gay dressing gown. Gay means very happy, colorful. Okay, don't unnecessarily think in other way. Right. He is vigorous, well colored. His bright, malicious eyes twinkle under his heavy reddish grey eyebrows. He is obviously either the old man, Abel Merriweather, or else his ghost. That is how it is described. So they didn't understand. Really, what happened? Is it Abel Merriweather or else his ghost? All of them, they scared. They got scared and looked at him. And he was just coming down step by step downstairs from his room. What happened next? Children, we'll see in the next video. Catch me up. Okay, bye.